the land of ancient Egypt, where the Nile gave life to the people, death was not seen as an ending but as a passage to eternity. When a great man died, his family called upon the priests of Anubis, the jackal-headed god of embalming, to prepare his body for the afterlife. The first step: cleansing the body. The body was carried to the embalming tent known as the Ibu, or place of purification. Priests washed it with sacred water taken from the Nile and cleansed it with palm wine. This was not just to clean the flesh, but to purify the spirit, for the body was the eternal home of the soul. The second step: removing the organs. A high priest wearing the mask of Anubis stepped forward. With a sharp flint knife, he made a small cut in the left side of the body. Carefully, the stomach, lungs, liver, and intestines were removed. Each organ was washed and preserved in natron before being placed in canopic jars. The baboon-headed Hapi guarded the lungs. The falcon-headed Keba watched over the intestines. The jackal-headed Duamutef protected the stomach. The human-headed Imseti kept the liver safe. The brain was removed with a hooked rod through the nose, but it was not preserved. Egyptians believed it was useless. The heart, however, was sacred. It was left in place, for one day it would be weighed against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth and justice. The third step: drying in natron. Next, the priests packed the body inside and out with natron, a natural salt from the desert. For 40 days, the body rested as the salt pulled away every drop of moisture. When it was uncovered, the skin was dry, leathery, and perfectly preserved. The fourth step: restoring the body. To give the body shape, priests filled it with sawdust, linen, and fragrant resins. Oils were rubbed into the skin, leaving it smooth and prepared for eternity. The fifth step: wrapping the body. Now came the most sacred ritual. Dozens of linen strips soaked in resin were wrapped around the body. Amulets were placed between the layers: the scarab beetle, symbol of rebirth; the eye of Horus for protection; the Ankh, sign of eternal life. As the wrapping continued, priests chanted spells from the Book of the Dead to protect the deceased on his journey. The head was wrapped last, covered with a painted mask so that the soul would recognize its earthly form. The sixth step: opening of the mouth. When the mummy was complete, the priests performed the opening of the mouth ceremony. A ritual tool, shaped like a miniature adze, touched the lips, eyes, and ears of the deceased, so that in the afterlife he might breathe, see, speak, and eat again. The final step: burial. The mummy was placed in a beautifully painted coffin, often nested inside several more, like guardians. Finally, it was sealed inside a stone sarcophagus, deep within a tomb. Around him were placed treasures, food, clothing, and even Shabti figurines, small servants who would work for him in the fields of eternity. The tomb was sealed, but the story was only beginning. For in the realm of Osiris, the soul would awaken, stand before the gods, and have its heart weighed against the feather of truth. If found pure, the deceased would join the gods in the eternal fields, living forever under the light of the sun. Thus, through mummification, the Egyptians gave their dead not just preservation of the body, but the promise of immortality.